Hello everyone, Shinto Bean here, talking about some more Warhammer combat cards, and in this one we're going to be taking a look at the Leagues of Votann roster, because they just announced a new Votann Codex with a bunch of new models, which will hopefully fill in some of the gaps that the Votann have in Warhammer combat cards right now. As of now, I think most people would probably agree that they're a fairly boring faction with only 2 warlords. Before we get into that, though, I do have a code for you. So if you type in Fenris, looks like 2 pages of rewards here. We got 400 coins, 40 plasma, and a bunch of space wolves. And these are just of random rarity. I got a handful of epics there, as you can see, no legendaries. And currently there is another space wolf campaign going on with 1 copy of Njal Stormcaller as the mission reward. But let's take a look at some of the new Votann stuff here, and we'll see what could potentially be added to the roster. So, one thing that the Votann are sorely lacking is warlords, having only 2 in the game right now, but they just announced this new special character for the Votann, Buri Agnerson, and he's wearing like a Tyrannid cape there, as you can see. Pretty cool looking guy. He's got a giant spear. It says one of his rules allows him to come back from the dead the first time he dies. So that would definitely make for a cool warlord. Continuing on, we've got an evaluator, kind of mad scientist armed with a crazy looking gun there. From the description of this gun, I guess it could have either anti-infantry or poison, maybe, potentially. It would be nice to see some, different traits for the Votann, because as of now, they are like a heavily ranged faction, so we've got, Barrage, Big Game Hunter, lots of shields. We definitely do not need any more shields for the Votann. That's one of the things that makes them so annoying to play against in Votann campaigns, is you got the Warlord that shuts down your traits, and then they've just got a million shields. So, that's no fun to play against. Moving on down the line, we got this Memnir Strategist, which is a pretty cool looking model there. I guess maybe it's a psyker or something, but it sounds like it's like a character, so this could potentially also be like a 4th warlord, and I'm sure they could come up with some creative special rule for that. Then we got sort of like a heavy infantry here, the Ironkin Steeljacks. So at the moment, got a couple infantry in the 20-point range, so these would probably be, these guys look bigger, so they could be like in the mid 20-point range, like a little bit more than these guys. It does describe them as being like very tough, but yeah, please don't give these guys shields. But it does look like they have different weapon options, so you could have like, hybrid melee and ranged, or just more heavy ranged units. Then we got the Chthonian Earthshaker, pretty cool looking artillery piece here. It's a mortar, which can fire an explosive payload. It has a few different munitions, so it could have either Barrage or Big Game Hunter, I think. Votann do have a number of Barrage units. This one does look kind of similar to this, although looking at the Berserk here, the two-man team, I feel like maybe they could swap this one's trait to Scout, because he's carrying what looks like a bunch of ammunition, so that might make more sense, and then give the mortar here Barrage. The size of this thing, obviously, you should have a lot more firepower than this 20-point card here. Then we got a new vehicle. This one looks like it's larger than the Pioneer, but smaller than the Sagator. So it could be like in the upper 30-point range. They could play around with it a little bit. There's like 2 different build options. So there's the Defender, which is more heavily armed. We've already got the Pioneer, which does have Barrage, so it might feel a little repetitive giving this one Barrage, but maybe you could arm it with this cannon and give it Big Game Hunter, perhaps. We've got the Carrier over here, which is a troop transport, and I think pretty much all troop transports in Warhammer combat cards are being given taunt these days, so it could be kind of a more expensive taunt unit that still packs a little bit of a punch that can just absorb lots of damage. So all in all, that's 6 new kits for the Votann, but obviously each one has a number of different build options and models, which could add a lot more than 6 cards into the Warhammer Combat Cards game. But definitely most excited to see some new warlords, so hopefully they'll have fun special rules that will make the faction just more exciting to play as. But let me know what you think of these new Votann units. That's for this one. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.